head-centered.
Oh gosh, yeah, get
sorry.
that
Halloween stream.
Halloween stream number 1. We've got today we are going to be focusing on camera control.
Yep.
So we're going to go over the IR remote control. We are going to go over our PTZ
the actual
joystick controller, the control software, both for IP, UVC, RS-232, and we have a new NewTek Tricaster software. Plus, we just finished our integration with NewTek, so we can be controlled by any Tricaster from the mini series up to the professional series. So we're going to look at that. And before we get started, what we like to do is just show how we're pulling off what we're pulling off, what we're doing. Show what's going on. Woo! Scary background.
Whoa.
Scary background.
All right.
So we did want to show off exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it, along with a bunch of different kind of like scenarios on how to live stream. This is supposed to be kind of a tutorial show, so we're going to show people how we live stream, take questions on how other people live stream. The biggest difference of what we do compared to what most people do is this is a video conference, a live video conference. Anyone could join at any time.
Yep.
And when they do join, their video will just pop up, and we can have up to 50 people on this video call live streaming to YouTube Live. So just keep in mind, anyone can join this video call at any time. We are expecting a few people to join this video call, including our camera control wizard, Nick Bikorski.
That broke us off.
Hopefully he'll be joining soon enough. And let's go ahead and start by, I'm actually just going to join this video conference from my computer, show someone joining a video conference call, and then I'm going to share my screen and walk through the video call. So I've just joined from my laptop, so you can see now I'm actually full screen here. Let's go ahead and pin the video of the normal video. And this is a video conference call. So now we've got 2 people in a video conference call. We're expecting more. This is just my laptop joining in. But you can have up to 50 people joining this video conference call. We're expecting a few more. Hopefully as the live shows and episodes continue, we'll get a larger following. But what I want to do is I want to start off by showing exactly what we are doing here to get all of this live streaming done.
Yeah, you got to share your screen.
So I'm going to share my screen. I just want to get it to the right place first. What we're going to do is demonstrate. I'm going to share my screen. That's one of the kind of cool things you can do with video conferencing is you can share your screen and we can demonstrate different things. So this is actually the YouTube Live. I'm going to show a couple things. One is this is the YouTube Live control.
Yep. Nice kind of, you got the chat on the side. You can embed it right into your website, which is nice, so people can kind of just come, click on the stream.
Yep. Let's talk about how we stream. We are streaming to YouTube Live, so this is all streaming to YouTube Live, which is completely free, and we're combining the worlds of video conferencing and live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a regular video conferencing setup where you have a Windows computer. We've got a wireless USB 2.0 speakerphone called the HuddlePod Air.
Yeah, nice little piece.
We've got PTZOptics camera. We'll show kind of zooming in and out with that. And that's all you really need for a video conference call. So we're using Zoom.us. You could use Skype or GoToMeeting or WebEx or Google Hangouts on Air.
Yep.
Which really simplifies it, and we will talk about that. But Zoom is really powerful. We wanted to use Zoom for this.
Yeah, Zoom is one of the nicest softwares we've used. Very intuitive, very kind of friendly interface, and has some great production, not production value, but latency, connection issues. It's just one of the nicest softwares we've used so far.
And I can actually do a lot of annotations. I think I'm going to do annotation here to just show. So here's Zoom connecting to our computer. Anyone from the outside world will connect to Zoom's cloud and get joined into this video call. We've got our camera and our microphone attached to our NUC here, and then the NUC is putting out HDMI to a DA. And what that does is it takes one HDMI and splits it into 2.
Nice little Have-A-Vision piece there.
Yep, it's from Have-A-Vision, a 1x2 HDMI splitter. So we're sending one HDMI to our display.
There.
And then we're sending the other HDMI to an Epiphan HDMI to USB 3.0 adapter, which I have here. This is only $350. And it's getting really hot right now, so we've been streaming with it for an hour. But they're really durable. They're they're low latency, and it's 1080p 30. We're actually only using 720p for this stream, but it's pretty nice. And that converts it to USB 3.0, where we're using a software called vMix. And I'll show that off as well. And vMix takes our stream and it sends it to YouTube Live. So let me show vMix here. This is our back end. So this is where we are switching between, we're managing all of our green screens and our backgrounds and streaming to YouTube Live down here.
Where all the magic happens.
This is where all the magic happens. And that's the vMix area, which is streaming to YouTube Live. And then really quickly, I'll show YouTube Live. You can see here's the background of YouTube Live here. We've already scheduled this event. You can see we've been streaming for 6 minutes. We've got a good stream status here. And this is our preview window. This is kind of the live control room behind YouTube Live. Yeah. We've gotten all of our information from YouTube Live about our RTSP streaming. That's under the ingestion settings here. They give you a stream name. We pop that into vMix, and vMix streams to YouTube Live. YouTube Live takes care of everything from there. Hey, John.
Hey, John.
How you doing?
Oh.
John's probably just setting up his microphone and everything right now. And that's it. So we're streaming everything to YouTube Live.
This is our...
And that's it. So, how you doing, John?
How you doing?
Good.
Good. Thanks for joining.
Excellent.
So do you want to turn this your laptop video off?
Yes.
Good. Can you hear us all right?
I hear you fine.
Oh, great. All right.
How you doing, Paul?
Not bad. Good to see you, John.
Excellent.
I think we're getting
to your stream right now, so I need to stop that.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little feedback from the stream.
Yeah, usually you're going to want to do one or the other. If you can join the video conference, feel free to do
or
that.
Or you could mute the stream. It's up to you.
Yeah, you could.
So, let's go. I want to just change my spooky background real quick. Slide in this spooky background. It's a little
spookier.
A little spookier. A little less action. There's too much action in that last one.
Yeah.
So, at this point in the live stream, we have talked about how we're accomplishing all of this live streaming on a budget. We're not using a new tech Tricaster. We're not using a live streaming device. We're using vMix.
Yeah.
Right.
We've got it on this laptop here, but what we're doing that most live streaming people haven't done yet is actually the video conferencing piece. So we just talked about how we've got another computer over here doing video conferencing. We can have up to 50 people join this video conference call, and then we're capturing the entire thing, bringing it into vMix, and streaming it out to YouTube Live.
Yep.
So we talked about all that. And then today, what we're going to talk about is camera control. So we're going to go over the remote control presets and everything, maybe set a couple of presets.
Yep.
We've got our joystick controller here, which I believe Pat already has connected to the camera.
Yep.
Very cool. That's one of your pieces.
Yes. This is it's $299. This is the joystick controller we're going to go over. We do have it.
How many cameras will go to the controller?
256.
A lot. So it's kind of it's the RS-232 protocol, which ends up extending pretty far. So you, in theory, could daisy chain up to as many as your line will go. What this can put out, we're not entirely sure. We haven't don't have the math on us right now, but it's
like 200 and something.
Yeah,
it's a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, you'd probably not even have a use for as many cameras that you could theoretically put on it.
Right. Okay.
How many? You gonna do 100 cameras or 100 cameras plus maybe?
No, I mean the most cameras I've done network broadcast was 19. Was enough. That was hockey.
Yeah, right.
Cameras, all that stuff, right?
Right. Cool. But yeah.
So yeah, let's get started. So I wanted to start with the remote control itself. So let's zoom in and just briefly talk about the remote control, and then we'll get, because this is kind of the boring part. Let's just get through this. Here's the remote control here. We can control up to 4 cameras with the remote. So for smaller deployments where you don't have a joystick or something like that, you can set the IDs of the cameras. I believe there's a dip switch to do that.
Yeah.
Or is it on the on-screen display menu?
That's a good question.
There's an on-screen display menu, which
might be under setup.
This actually is kind of included in the camera control. I believe in setup here. Yeah, see the V address there?
Yep.
You would just set that between 1 and 4, and that would be the address that would respond to. I'm almost positive that's what that is. And then here's the OSD menu. We'll just briefly look at that. It looks really creepy on the stream since it's opaque.
Yeah. That is creepy.
Here's we can do all of our different exposure. So we've got it on auto right now. There's backlighting, gain limit, anti-flicker, which we have at 60 hertz for the United States.
Yeah. Europe tends to be, I think, 50.
Here's the color. Watch when we turn the saturation up. That green really pops, which we don't really need that much. Yeah. Hue, saturation. This also, like if we get into the manual stuff, this is where we can do like red, green, blue. Oh, Nick decided to come. Yay. Nick, we weren't sure if you were going to come or not. He's probably just fixing his microphone and everything. Image, this is where we can do luminous, contrast, sharpness. Of course, we can flip left to right and then up and down.
Flip vertical is for some nice ceiling-mounted projects, you know.
Here's our PTZ. This is actually set to pan, tilt, and zoom by zoom. So that means if you're fully zoomed in, it's gonna pan slower. Just
right.
It's more native that way. If you don't have that on, it could really start zipping around when you're fully zoomed in. Here's our 2D and 3D noise cancellation. So a feature that a lot of the cameras on the market don't have. You can see we really have a very minimal amount of noise in our picture.
Right.
And then that's really important. And then, of course, we have our VISCA protocol, which we have set up to show the joystick, which I'll show in a minute here. We have it set to serial, and we have our baud rate at 9600. Anyway, let's finish up the remote here. So here's the remote. What you would want to do to set a preset is you would actually hit the set preset button here, and then the number. I'm going to go ahead and do that really quickly. Set preset.
Maybe zoom in.
And hit 1. And it's going to say set OK in the top left center. I'm going to say OK. Zoom out. Move over. And then controlling the wrong one. All I have to do is hit button 1. It's going to zip right back to where it was. Really simple.
Straightforward.
This is your PTZ here. PTZ left, right, straight.
Yeah, here you go.
Here's your zoom, in and out. That's the menu button. That's what we were pulling up, that OSD menu.
Spooky fly.
Right.
And then here's our just manual focus or autofocus.
Now on the controller, does it have knobs for focus or the big buttons?
On the joystick?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to the joystick.
We'll
it does have a fine-tune knob on there.
Yeah, it does have manual and autofocus.
So, Nick, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, it's good to know you're here. You missed our last stream.
Well, too early for us. We're in California.
That's all right. That's all right. Actually, let's go ahead. I want to show your screen live because look at all of those PTZ cameras Nick has.
Yeah, it's quite the mad lab he's got going on there.
Nick is the PTZ wizard.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, pretty cool.
So Nick, since we have you here, let's ask you. Tell us about what do you think about PTZOptics? You know, from a completely objective standpoint, you've tried every single PTZ camera on the market. I don't think anyone has as much PTZ camera knowledge as you do. Tell us about your thoughts on PTZOptics.
It's a great camera. In some parts, it's the best camera on the market. Has tons of video out, can be controlled from anywhere by any
Awesome. And I believe it was the very first IP control camera that Rokosoft worked with, right?
Yes, it was.
And I understand now you're working with Panasonic, so we beat them to the punch by a couple months, which is good for a small company like us. You know, we're just, $20 million company outside Philadelphia, and we always try to rush to the front lines, and we don't rush with a product that's not ready. You know, we've got a rock solid product here that's got pretty much all the features you could ever want.
Right.
Yep, it's ready for the market. It works perfect, and our clients actually love it. And it works perfect with our software, and our software works perfect with your camera.
Yep.
So everything is just perfect.
Yep, and we are going to go over your software here in a minute. So
Okay.
hopefully you can help us explain that.
Yeah, so I think Nick is actually going to show a outside IP ad. You're going to control a camera here, right?
I will try at least.
Okay, because you know what? Well, don't worry about it, because you know what? It's up in a server room, and the lights are off in that room. I'd have to run and turn the lights on anyway. We'll get through. We'll get through the software, but really quickly, we're gonna show off the joystick really quickly, and then we're just gonna talk about the software.
Okay, super.
So, and John, if you have any questions along the way, just jump right in.
Okay, what I'm really intrigued to see today, by the way, so you know, is the add-on software for IP controlling Tricaster.
Okay, great. Yep, and so Nick, you know what that is. We'll talk about that. That's the Tricaster Advanced and Basic Control Software.
I think the question was about the IP controller for the Tricaster.
Yes.
Not the Visca controller. We already
Correct.
we already have Visca controller for the Tricaster, actually 2 versions, and we are preparing the IP software also.
Yeah, I like prefer to hook up over IP, so that's intriguing to me.
Yeah, that's well, it's not always the best solution, but it works, and especially now it's easier with all this, video channel bandwidth. IP channel bandwidth.
Right.
Maybe like 3-5 years ago. Hey,
Right.
So we will definitely cover that in depth, John. Because we're recording this and hopefully using it to just cover every control basis. Let's just really quickly talk about the joystick, Pat.
Yep.
Do you want to just flip it around so we can show off what it looks like on the front?
Yep.
So here's the joystick controller here. I'm going to zoom into it. We've got our PTZOptics 12X here. So it's controlling the camera. It's got an LED display there. Again, this is $299. So it's super affordable. We've got a DB9 cable that's going RS-232 into the back of the camera. The back of the camera, just really quickly flip it around. I'm pulling in USB because I'm going to show the video feed on my computer with the software in a second. But we do have the network port here. HDMI out, if you can see that. Sorry for all the cables in the way. We've got our network, our HDMI. This is the USB version coming right into my computer. And then we've got our RS-232 in and out here. There is a CVBS and a line in. The line in is to bring audio into the IP stream. And then the CVBS is obviously just an analog out. So you want to go ahead and just kind of demonstrate the joystick really quickly, Pat?
Yeah, right. And so basically, you have your standard camera features with tele wide angle, near and far autofocus, the autofocus, the backlight. You got the cam, or the preset in the cam, right? So you can hook up multiple cameras. So this would allow you to select whatever camera you need. You can set the presets on it as well. I think up to 250 some.
Yeah.
Got lots of presets. But, yeah, and then you just kind of
really responsive.
Yep.
You can
Simple
twist
pan,
for
tilt,
zoom.
Yep.
Depending on the setting you have it on, like by default, when you twist, you're actually controlling the zoom, and you can see if we zoom into this far enough, you'll see that the lens is actually zooming there.
Yep. There you go.
In and out. Just with the twist.
Simple twist of the joystick.
Now, depending on the setting you have it on, you can set that twist to be doing like iris control, to be doing all kinds of different things. So It's a really dynamic joystick, and it's got a really durable metal housing on it, so you can take it out to a show, beat it up a little bit. It's really durable, and we think it's a great joystick controller.
Yeah.
How many joystick controllers can you have to a set of cameras?
So you can only have one joystick to one camera.
Okay.
And then you can daisy chain the cameras out.
Yeah, you can add more cameras. I don't think you could add more joysticks because it's just
Okay.
RS-232 in, right? There's only
one input. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now
Unless you could
with
somehow
the
split
IP
it
joystick that we're working on, Nick will talk to you about that. With the software itself, Nick, you can actually have multiple virtual joysticks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, I would say that would actually be a great use for the software because then you could pull it up on.
You could pull it up on multiple things.
You could have a whole bunch of joysticks if you get the software. Right?
So Nick, we're gonna pass it over to you now. Let you talk about the joystick, or sorry, the software. And I have the software on my computer if you want me to demo it, but we weren't sure if you wanted to demo it or how you want to do it.
If you're meeting, do so. I will answer any questions.
And an external IP address that it's hosting. So we can go ahead and take that internal IP address, pop it into a web browser, and it will pull up the controls for the camera. So that means we can pull it up on any iPad, any Android, any computer on our network and control the camera.
Right, John. So this is where you could get multiple joysticks for your cameras.
Yeah.
Right. So this would be a nice little software feature. Because as long as it's on the network, you can pull it up. You can pull it up on iPads, iPhones,
Right.
multiple computers, whatever you want. Once you're on the network, you're golden.
And this little button here, this USB Joy, allows you to use a USB joystick with this software.
Fantastic.
So you can just put a nice, there's all kinds of USB joysticks out there. You enable that. Now you got joystick control, plus you can have your iPad to do presets and stuff like that, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, really.
Multiple joysticks.
Yeah, the applications are
Now,
quite numerous.
The beauty of this software is the PTZ Visual Pad. And what this allows you to do is set presets and visually lay them out. So if you've got a complex, hockey game or football game or something like that, you can lay out your presets and just click where you want them to zoom into. So I'm going to move this over here a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom into a camera. So it looks like I'm fully zoomed into this camera in the center here, this PTZOptics 20X. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this as my number one preset. So I'm going to call it, actually that's a 12X.
Yeah.
12X USB set. And what I'm going to do is, so I put that on my visual layout right here. And then I'm going to move over. This is the HuddleCam Air. I'm going to set that as number 2. Set. And now what I can do is I can literally just double click where I want the camera to go on this visual layout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just so many applications from this, from distance learning to high-end boardrooms to live streaming events, where you just manage all of this for the click of a button.
Yep, and this is, because you can label them, you have up to 255 presets. You could think of a theater, maybe, or an auditorium or a lecture hall, where you could literally either name the students, you could name the seats, everything from 1A up to Z7 or Z45 or whatever you wanted to make it. So
right.
it's actually quite the comprehensive software.
You can see here, so basically we could have our main controls over here and have a nice fast PTZ, and then over here in the preset visualizer we can set it for a slow PTZ over here, so we can have like 2 sets of controls, one for fast zipping around and calling presets, and one for like fine-tuning the final image.
Yeah. Maybe you could pull up the PTZOptics website and show them. So we have a couple pictures of use cases where, at a boardroom table, right, you can kind of...
Let's go to PTZOptics. And this is where we'll be able to show you that Tricaster integration as well. here we go. Here's our camera control software. Oop. That took me to the live stream. Right here we've got under accessories, we have our camera control software. And there's 5 implementations of this software. So one is just strictly IP control. And the IP control software, that's not loading. It's kind of weird. It's right here. The IP control software, you put it on your Windows-based computer. You can have as many PTZOptics cameras on your network as you want, and you can pan, tilt, and zoom and control them.
Can you show that picture? Like that.
That picture is, I think, from the... It's not going to show up, I don't think.
Okay, well there's one with the boardroom.
Here's
right?
one with the boardroom.
This is a boardroom example.
The faces. This one actually, I think this one rotates. It's a GIF. So it'll rotate. There's one classroom,
cool.
It being used.
Definitely
So it is an orchestra there. A lot of different ways to use. So this is over IP.
This is actually one of my favorite ones, right? Because you can
With
totally a poker
game.
table
You
would
can
be
see that being used
very
for sure.
optimal, yeah.
So that's the this is IP. Of course, what I just showed you guys was Visca. And then we also have what's called UVC. And UVC is controlled just through a USB cable. Nick, I think, again, PTZOptics was like one of the first UVC controllable cameras as well.
Well, not the first one, but we can do presets with this camera, with your camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part of the UVC control.
So it's the first camera with absolute control.
Yes, absolute control. So with your camera, that's the only camera on the market that, as of today, that we can use presets to the UVC channel.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some other brands we can control them through the UVC channel, but with no presets. That is one of the most important, tool that professionals need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with our UVC control, we support both relative and absolute. So we can switch between the two. I know, Nick, we still have to show you the relative implementation that we have, but the absolute implementation provides presets. The relative, which is what Logitech uses and Video 360 and a few others, they're just relative. So they can only go relative to where they were before. They can't control absolute presets.
Yes.
And then finally, Nick, do you want to show us your screen? Do you have anything you want to show us?
Not today. I tried to set it up, but it's kind of tricky for today's meeting. Next time.
Let's just talk about the Tricaster integration then, and what we have. Actually, I kind of like gallery view. Let's just talk about the Tricaster integration and what new tech dealers and professional broadcast professionals should know about when they're talking about implementing this software onto a Tricaster.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have 2 versions of the Visca control software for Tricasters. As you called it, basic and studio version, when we can control PTZ cameras from the Tricaster interface. If you can put any image of the Tricaster interface on the screen with our software, that would be great.
And as far as the IP control through the Tricaster, it's not available today.
No.
You can install the program on the Windows operating system and use it as a secondary app. What do you think the timeline will be to get that integrated into the Tricaster?
Well, it's possible, it's simple, and it will be on the market in a few weeks.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, very simple interface on the Tricaster itself, and control of IP cameras. As of today, 2 cameras will be controlled with our software from the Tricaster interface.
All right. Well, that's great news. And as John, this may be the first time that you've met Nick before, but Nick is literally the PTZ wizard. I mean, as you can just see from the background of his office there, he's literally tried every PTZ camera on the market.
I see.
When you compliment our camera, Nick, it really means a lot. So that's why we love having you on here. I appreciate that, what you've said about our camera.
Yeah, and thanks for making it out. Yeah.
And doing, your software has been amazing. The preset visualizer is just changing telemedicine. It's changing the game for distance learning. And then, of course, broadcast and live streaming. I mean, it's just huge.
Yeah.
Everyone we show it to thinks it's amazing.
See a lot of growth there.
But the new tech stuff is going to be really interesting because PTZOptics can be controlled directly through a new tech Tricaster with the latest firmware. But as you know, new tech is new to the pan tilt zoom game, and they don't have all the different functionality and features that we were talking about in the basic and the advanced studio control. Yeah. Including IP control, which is really going to save us because we're having issues integrating with new tech's direct IP stuff. It's not going to happen right away. We're hoping at the beginning of 2016 we might be able to figure that out, but it's still not going to have all the features and bells and whistles that what Nick has designed is going to have.
Yeah, and it's definitely a comprehensive software. It's straightforward to use, and with all the features, it's really comprehensive. A comprehensive solution.
So walk me through the interface with the Tricaster. Is it under like the add-on tab? There's a menu there to config, or this additional software under the Tricaster?
Do you want to talk about that, Nick?
Yes, why not? If you can put the interface image on the screen, it would be great.
Okay.
I believe your web.
Yep. Yeah, we should be able to show it right from our website. Here's our live streaming background there. Actually, I want to do this in Firefox. So here we are with our control software page, and what we'll do is down here we have the basic and the studio. And let's just go ahead and look at the studio.
Yep.
Here it is here. Let's see if we have a better picture of it. Is that a good picture of it there?
Yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah, we'll have to get more pictures. Sounds
so
like it.
in that picture that shows the two Tricasters, it's like you can see how the software looks on the Tricaster interface. We are not trying to take a lot of real estate space on the interface itself because it's like a secondary program, and the Tricaster is a very good video editing system, and we don't want to interrupt with any processes on the interface itself. And
so it's a floating window in there, I see. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a small controller on the side of the interface. Can be moved to any location you want. You can there are 4 in this studio version. There are 4 panels that open up when you click the button, and it's like the very first panel. You see, like on that image on the top, you see 3 panels. You can leave just one, but it has main controls. You can control your cameras with a virtual joystick, a private screen. Then you can switch you can use a USB joystick, any USB joystick, or control your cameras with the buttons on the interface or with the keyboard shortcuts. You can also use macros with our software.
Oh, the macros will fire this. The Tricaster macros will fire this.
No, we don't fire Tricaster macros from our interface, but you can use any device with that. You can use macros with. You can also send commands to the cameras through our program. So practically, let's say if you are using X keys
Yep.
For example, so you can.
I'm familiar with XD. I build a lot of panels with XDs.
Yeah, great. So
My latest one there, yeah.
Yeah, you can assign any key to, like as you do, you can assign it to control your Tricaster functions, and also the same key will switch the cameras, for example.
Right.
Move the cameras, and practically with the Tricaster there are 4 channels, usually, and up to 7 cameras per channel.
Gotcha. Okay.
Same, we'll have the same with the IP control and with the UVC control for the Tricaster.
Gotcha. And you said IP control is a little ways away yet.
Well, it's almost the same, but different channels control the camera. We're having problems with the power. Is it only me here, or there is a noise in the sound?
No, well, that's great. So, I mean, it sounds like the IP control is like, a couple of weeks out. We do have free demos of any of the software if you want to try that, John. In the meantime, just fill out that free trial form and give it a try. So we talked about the IR remote. We talked about the joystick. We talked about control software. We talked about the new tech integration. We can answer any other questions. It's almost been 45 minutes. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And we also wanted to show this brand new product from Crestron. But before I do, any other questions or anything you want to talk about before we get this new piece we want to talk about?
No, I think I'm pretty clear.
Cool.
All right.
So we just wanted to show this off because this is a brand new product from Crestron, and it's a 6-port microphone switch, and it's perfect for live streaming or even video conferencing in the cloud when you're using USB. So again, this is for those guys setting up a vMix system. Yeah. Or a Wirecast system. They don't have a Tricaster. They don't have a complete mixing board. What you can do is you can take up to 6 microphones and give them phantom power and just pop it out USB 2.0. Could not be easier. Plug it into your computer and you've got 6 microphones. There's no echo cancellation in here. So it's actually built for, the conferencing products like we're using today that already have echo cancellation built in. Skype for Business, GoToMeeting, Zoom. And then, literally, it's only $800, and it pulls in all 6 of those. There are other products out there today that you can use for audio mixing, but this one in particular, the reason why I wanted to highlight it is just because of, I don't know what you're doing with the focus there, Pat. Oh, there we go. Is that, it's perfect for web conferencing. It's perfect for these all USB systems, which people are doing.
Retrofitting boardrooms.
Stuff like that, so I wanted to show it off.
Yeah. Just a nice way.
And that's pretty much our show. Nick, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. John, same thing. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you in person.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you guys. Happy Halloween.
And we are going to go ahead and end this live stream. It's been a pleasure. Everybody have a nice day, okay?
Yep.
Take care.
Take care,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.